Good evening, brothers and sisters. This is your brother in Christ, Richard. I hope y'all got a blessed day. The devotional tonight, I gonna call it acceptance, and I'm gonna start with a story. There's a famous player named by the name of Keith Hernandez. He was a 300 hitter, and he had multiple Golden Glove for excellence on the field. He had numerous World Series records, and he was a very successful player in baseball, and he had a very good career. But there was something missing about his life. It was father acceptance. One day, he called his father and said, "Look, Dad, look at my record. I'm a 300 hitter. I have multiple Golden Gloves. Man, I've been in the World Series numbers of times. Why is it that I don't get acceptance?" And the dad responded and said, "One day, you are going to look back and say, I could have done more." See, at times, brothers and sisters, we do a lot, and for other people, it's not good enough. Many times, people are not going to give you their approval. They're not going to accept you. You have to do all the things. You got to do all the changes, and then they will accept you. Many times we get rejected. It comes with territory. It's life. But it's a tough situation when you're trying so hard, and then you never get accepted. I imagine a lot of students who go and send letters to universities, and they don't get accepted. It's a difficult situation, but it's part of life. Now, many will ask themselves, well, what about Christ? Will Christ accept me? Well, the Bible says this in Matthew 11:28. "Come to me, all who are labor and heavy laden, and I will give you rest." Now, Christ invites everyone to come to him, no matter where you are, what's your status, what was your past about. God's only asking you to come to him. And if you're tired, you've been through the struggles, Christ promised you that he will give rest. Now, that does not mean, brothers and sisters, that we're not going to struggle. It doesn't mean that we're not going to go through hardship. What rest means that God is saying, I will give you peace, hope, and I will give you confidence in a time of trial. During the time of a storm, God said, I will be with you. That is beautiful that Christ gave us an invitation. Now, it's a question that some of us ask. I asked it too. Will Christ take me back? Will Christ accept me? Like I said many times, a lot of us do not forgive ourselves for the things that we have done in the past. And the enemy takes the opportunity to put negative thoughts in our head and saying, oh, you're not good enough. God's not going to accept you. Oh, man, you did all the things in the past. You're no good. But the Bible says something else. And see what it says. In John 6:37. God said this, all the Father gives to me will come to me. And the one who comes to me, I'll be no mean cast out. So God said, hey, look, I will accept anybody. I will not cast you out. I will accept you the way you are. Christ doesn't ask you to be the best. He's not asking you to be perfect. He's not asking you to be the best Christian and the more holy Christians and have all this ministry so you can come to him. Christ is asking you and you and I to come to him the way we are. And then Christ will transform our hearts. Christ will do the work. Christ will take all that dirt out of your life and make us white as snow. That's what Christ wants to do. Now, this is another question. Doesn't Christ accept only righteousness and holy? He died for all of us. We're sinners. Well, the Bible says in Romans 5:8, and it said, but God demonstrated his own love toward us, in that while we were still sinners, Christ died for us. Yes, brothers and sisters, Christ died for us even when we were sinners, when we even rejected him. You see, a lot of times we want Christ to accept us, but we don't accept them. We don't allow Christ to come in, and we close the door on Christ. And all Christ asking is, look, I want to come in. Let me in. He asking you permission, the creator of the world, for us to open the door to him. See, right now, in this time that we're living, in a time of trouble, where you see a lot of chaos in the world and in this country, Christ is calling out his children to be witness. Christ is telling us to speak about him through our life. Christ wants us to be evangelists. This is why Christ wants to transform our lives. This is why Christ wants to accept us. He wants to give us the gift of salvation so you and I could be evangelists and tell Christ and tell the world about Christ. That's what Christ wants to do with our lives. Andrew White says that the angels in heaven, they are amazed on how Christ have changed the life of sinners. How they have seen Christ's power in our life. This is what Christ wants to do in the life of you and I. See, this is why we need to start telling the world. It's sad that many of us are telling the world about all the things that honestly are not that important. We need to talk about the love of God and how he's working in our life. And I want to close with this. No matter what your past has been, God has set us with our condition. But he loves us too, to leave us the way we are. So Christ invite everyone with our condition. He doesn't have requirements. He's not saying, well, you know, if you do all these things, if you go and create a ministry, you know, if you give all your tithes to me, if you do all the things they're good, then I will accept you. No, brothers, Christ will accept you even if you're a sinner. Ezekiel 18:21 and 22 says, but if a wicked man turns from his ways, which he has committed, keep all my statutes, and does what is lawful and right, he shall surely live. The Bible says this, he shall not die. No one of the transgression which he has committed should be remembered against him. Because of the righteousness he has done, he shall live. So God is saying, when we come to Christ, Christ does not remember. He doesn't tell you your past. It's done. God said, Lord, my son, I accepted you the way you are. Now I'm going to work with you. I'm going to make you a better person. That's the way Christ works. He's not going to continue remembering your mind. Oh, yeah, Lord, you did last year. No. Christ does not act like us. And that's what Christ wants to do. He wants to change our mindset so we can not only accept him, but also accept ourselves. Many times we don't forgive ourselves. And we don't accept who we are. And we listen to the opinion of other people, and we allow people to tell us who we are. And we're sitting down, waiting for the approval of people instead of the approval of Christ. Brothers and sisters, we need to accept Christ's invitation. And once we do that, Christ will give us rest. Not only that, he will give us comfort, and he will give us strength in a time of trials. Brothers and sisters, please share this message. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. God bless and good night. Until next time, it's your brother Christ, Richard.